What is going on, everybody? Weedle here, and we are back in with another Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle, and this one's going to be against Dreux. Apparently it's Dreux, that's what he told me his name's pronounced. And I battled my opponent on my Discord server, so if you guys are interested in a Wi-Fi battle trade and battle chat, definitely check out my Discord server. A link will be in the description below. I highly recommend checking it out if you're looking for a place to find Wi-Fi battles and such like that. But anyway, I am having a rarely used battle today. My opponent seems actually pretty threatening. He has the Spec Swallow, Donphan, Slowbro, Deblade, Toxicroak, and Heracross. A lot of very scary threats on his team. As I'm using a pretty fun team actually. I'm using Dragonance Tropius again, though I should probably stop using it because people get used to what it does. I'm using Z-Typhlosion, Sash Lead Aurorus, Spadef Mantine with Defog, Scarf Mr. Mime, and Assault Vestus Cavalier. So a pretty fun team this time around. I'm going to lead off with my Tropius here as we are battling in the beautiful, Battle Royale Arena. So it's pretty awesome, and it's kind of sad that this amazing background gets wasted on such a horrible addition to the game. Though, I mean, granted, it is, some people do enjoy Battle Royals, but I just think they're so, I don't know, they're not for me. That's all I gotta say. But turn 1, I don't really have a switch into the Spec Swallow. I actually have no idea if this is the Gut Swallow set or Spec Swallow from Team Preview. It's really hard to tell. But Spec Swallow has picked up in popularity a lot, so it should have been kind of expected to be Spec Swallow. But yeah, that Spec Boom Burst does way too much damage to my Spadef Mantine. It takes way too much. So I'm gonna be forced to bring in my Scavalier here. I am Assault Vestus and it still does over a quarter of health, which just kind of shows the raw power of Spec Boom Burst from Stab Swallow. As now, in comes Donphan here. I'm just going to choose to go for the knockoff here just to remove the just to remove the leftovers, so the Donphan has no chance of getting the sturdy back, because now I'm going to expect Earthquake or Stealth Rock, so I'm going to bring in my Mantine here, because if I have my Mantine on the Donphan, I could just defog away the entry hazards, because my team is actually really weak to Stealth Rocks. Like, I didn't realize how weak my team was to Stealth Rocks until my opponent set them up. Let's see, I have Mantine, Aurorus, Typhlosion, and Tropius weak to Stealth Rock. So essentially, my team is freaking weak to Stealth Rock. So I gotta get rid of them ASAP. Even if it means sacking off my Mantine, that is fine with me. Removing Stealth Rocks is definitely my best play, because I always manage to bring teams that are like so weak to Stealth Rocks, and I feel like I do it on purpose just to handicap myself. I don't know. But now my opponent is going to bring in Toxicroak. I was hoping I would outspeed him here, but he's actually going to go for the Z move, which actually ends up being Acid Downpour. I guess my opponent didn't want to risk him missing Gunk Shot, which was a fair move. But this Acid Downpour going to drown this Mantine in toxins, unfortunately. And this poor Mantine is going to get obliterated in its first battle I've actually used it. So pretty pathetic, but I'm sure you'll see Mantine a lot in the future. As now I'm going to bring in my Krakatoa, Bluff the Choice Scarf, because 99% of Typhlosions are Choice Scarf according to like everyone in the battle community. So going to go for Eruption here. On to the slower name CTC. People are being so savage with their nicknames lately. Come on, man. But Eruption does do a lot of damage. And here I want to just make sure I can bluff my Choice Scarf, because half of the reason this Typhlosion set works is because Scarf Eruption bluffs Choice, well, not even Scarf Eruption, just Eruption in general bluffs Choice Scarf so well on Typhlosion that people just don't expect the Z move on it, which really comes in handy sometimes. But anyway, able to bring in a Scavalier onto the Slowbro, don't get burned, which is just like a miracle. As now my opponent is going to switch out into his Donphan here, but I'd be damned if I'm going to let him get a free Stealth Rock. So I'm going to choose to double switch out and bring in my Aurorus here, because I am not going to give that Donphan a free switch. So Aurora should be able to knock out this Donphan with ease, and I don't think he has any ideas of staying in, so he's going to choose to bring in a Slowbro once again, and I'm going to lay out my Stealth Rocks here. That was a pretty risky play, because it could have easily stayed in here and just went for Stealth Rocks, and then I would have been really screwed, but my opponent decides to play it safe, and now I'm able to get the Freeze Dry off on the Slowbro. I'm not sure if he just didn't have a switch into Aurorus, or he just didn't think I had Freeze Dry, but it does do a hell of a lot of damage to Slowbro. As Scald's going to bring me down to about half HP, that's fine, as Scald does not burn me again. Scald is not living up to its name in this battle, that is for sure, but Aurorus, a pretty big threat to my opponent's team. He doesn't really have a switch into this thing, as now he's going to bring us 420 Blade it, his Deblade, and the Love Ball. Nice shiny to Blade, as now I have no reason not to go for Freeze Dry. It does have a chance to freeze, and it's just a stab move overall. So I'm going to go for Freeze Dry here onto the Blade. Doesn't take it too well, as I'm able to get a nice, lucky, and skillful Freeze Hacks. Thankfully, Aurora just comes through here. But this Freeze Hacks isn't really that, big of a deal, because I do have the Earth Power, which will be able to knock out the Blade from that range of health. So unless my opponent wanted to pivot around my Auroras, that freeze really didn't make that big of a deal. I mean, I guess he could have gotten Shadow Sneak chip damage off, but he didn't even go for Shadow Sneak that turn anyway, so I guess either way it wasn't too big of a deal. As now in comes Nidoking, the shiny Heracross. That very misleading nickname there is my Auroras is unfortunately going to die to the Stone Edge, and Heracross is going to get a Moxie boost. That pretty much tells me that he is Scarf Heracross, but I am Scarf Typhlosion. I'm not actually Scarf Typhlosion, but I'm bluffing it, so I'm hoping he takes the bluff, as he does, and I'm like, yes! He took the bluff. So now he's going to bring in Slowbro here, and I'm like, you have made a big mistake, friend. I'm actually going to go for the Z move here. I was bluffing the Scarf the entire time, and that's what Typhlosion does spectacularly. Everyone expects it to be Choice Scarf, and it's just not Choice Scarf. It is Z Sunny Day, baby. So able to get the Sunny Day off on the field, and I obviously do carry Solar Beam if I'm running Sunny Day on a Fire type, although I could just run Bloom Doom on this Typhlosion set. I think Eruption would just baits Choice Scarf so well on the set, and I know if you take any damage at all with Typhlosion, Eruption becomes useless, but like I said, everybody switches out if you bring Typhlosion in aggressively, because everybody thinks it's Choice Scarf, so it just works so well. As we're able to destroy that Slower with Solar Beam, as now my opponent is going to bring in a Scarf Heracross once again, but Z Sunny Day does give a speed boost, which is why I'm using it mainly, so I could run Modest and get away with it. But I'm going to go for the Eruption here. Thanks to the speed boost, I'm going to be able to outspeed the Scarf Heracross, knock him out with the Eruption. And my opponent, it's not looking good for him at this point, because now he's going to bring Toxicroak, and Toxicroak is technically weak to Eruption thanks to Dry Skin, unless he's running like a different ability. But he's going to go for the Sucker Punch here. Typhlosion should be able to tank this, as I am thankfully. Not going to weaken my Eruption too much, as Eruption will be able to knock out the Toxicroak with the Sun Boost. As now my opponent's second last mount is Donphan. And I could go for Solar Beam here. My opponent could pivot around here to work around the Sun turns, but I'm just going to go for Eruption here just to play it safe, and there's no reason not to. If it doesn't kill him, it's not too big of a deal. This Typhlosion's already going on a rampage, so we're able to knock out the Donphan as well, as now my opponent's last mon is Spec Swallow, and I do believe I'm actually able to outspeed Spec Swallow thanks to the Z Sunny Day speed boost, as we're able to connect the Focus Blast, and we're going to be able to knock out the Swallow, and we're going to be able to win the game with a 3-0 victory. So that was a pretty fun game, Drew. I had a lot of fun, and I got to showcase off Z Sunny Day Typhlosion, which works really well, honestly, if your opponent expects it to be Choice Scarf. But I hope you guys enjoyed that game. If you guys did, I really appreciate it if you would hit that like button. Your guys' continued support really means the world to me, and I just like to see an accurate amount of people that watch and enjoy my video, and it just keeps impacts the future content I make. So I definitely recommend you hit the like button if this is what you want to see in the future. But the question of the day is going to be, what is your favorite shiny Pokemon form in Pokemon Sun and Moon in general? I'm pretty sure I've asked this question already, but screw it, I'm going to ask it again anyway. But my favorite shiny form for Pokemon has got to be either Shiny Chatot or Shiny Toucanon. They look so sick. I don't know if it's just their color scheme, but they look so amazing to me, and I'm drawn to them whenever I see them. I just feel like Shiny Toucanon and Shiny Chatot just look so amazing that their normal forms don't even compete, and that's a rare occurrence for shiny Pokemon in my opinion. But that's gonna be the battle, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll check you guys in my next video. Alright, peace.